On the surface, he looked like a wealthy tycoon, but in reality, he was a serial killer who had already taken 9 lives. He was so twisted that he even carried the victims' heads to their families himself. When one father saw his daughter's head, he collapsed in despair. Before he could fight back, the madman stabbed him and shoved him into the sea. That was the moment the father's rage boiled over. He secretly built a hideout, stocked it with chains, an axe, and a blood pump. He even dug a deep well in the yard. One day, Jack rammed his car into the killer and knocked him out. He dragged the psycho back to his base and slapped him hard across the face. Then he pulled out a knife and cut off one of the killer's fingers. Jack hauled him into the yard, dragged him to the well, and threw him straight in. Just then, the police captain showed up. Jack begged him not to let the murderer live, but the captain insisted on saving him. With no choice, Jack fled. Later, he secretly tracked down the killer's wife. His eyes burned with fury, but the killer had also kidnapped Jack's daughter-in-law. Soon, the killer received a photo of his wife, followed by a call from Jack. "Now you'll know what it feels like to lose family." The killer couldn't take it anymore. He swore Jack's daughter-in-law was still alive and promised to send her home. Jack chose to trust him one last time, but when the killer came to pick her up, the woman sprayed him with pepper spray. The 2 young women ran for their lives. The killer quickly caught up, and in the struggle, both girls tumbled into a pit. An hour later, Jack called his son in a panic, only to learn his daughter-in-law had never made it home. Furious, Jack walked to his car. Even though he knew the woman was innocent, he covered the car with a tarp and slowly pushed it into the ocean. Then Jack went after the killer alone. Just as he was about to strike, the police captain appeared again. But Jack no longer trusted the cops. To his surprise, his son also showed up. Jack lowered his knife, making the police relax, then suddenly shoved the killer down. A week later, the killer's wife woke up in a hospital bed. It turned out Jack had spared her life out of mercy. Wanting to repay him, she revealed her husband's secret hideout. That clue quickly led Jack to the killer. She even handed over evidence to the police. When Jack woke up in his hospital bed, he learned that his daughter-in-law and the other girl had been rescued. Overwhelmed, he burst into tears of relief. Though the killer had survived by sheer luck, he was dragged into court. The judge sentenced him to death on the spot. Still, the killer showed no remorse. Years later, when Jack was finally released from prison, his granddaughter was already walking. He returned to the taxi company and quietly went back to driving cabs. From the Korean film, A Bloody Lucky Day.